Welcome, everybody, to Cryptid Conversations here in the Legends Cave. I'm your host, Blue. Today, joining us is our amazing panel of amateur cryptozoologists and professional bunch of assholes. Starting off, we got Torsten. We got the always adorable Jasper. Michelle drinks coffee, the queen of coffee.
And
And then and then we have the queen of mean herself, Kate Irish,
I'm gonna
who
go
we
ahead
all love.
drop. I don't like it when you call her the queen of mean. She's
I
mean
love
to us,
no, she's
but
mean to me.
and that's well deserved at that. Well deserved. But
Oh, yes.
she's
Okay, how about this? Our critical interpreter of our information. I'm
Can't I
getting a
just get
look.
a normal one? Why you gotta make mine all weird? Like, come on, you're false advertising me. Seriously.
All right, fine. Queen of Sass, Kate.
that still has ass in it. We're good.
Exactly, because quite frankly, we're all a bunch of happy assholes, and
True.
we're here to
It
talk
runs.
cryptids of the air. Which cryptid will be kicked from the nest and out of the air for good? This week we have Torsten starting us off. Torsten, what do you have for us?
This week, I bring to you the Snallygaster.
Snelly. Oh, that's the Virginia area.
Nallygaster.
Yes.
I love saying Snallygaster.
When we were
Um,
picking cryptids last week, I got pissed because Torsten said Snallygaster first, and I was like, "Son of a bitch!"
yes.
All right, go
Um,
for it.
in American folklore,
Regale
the
us the tales of
Snallygaster
the Snallygaster.
is a bird reptile chimera originating in the superstitions of early German immigrants, later combined with sensationalistic newspaper reports of the monster.
Okay.
Earliest sightings associate the Snallygaster with Frederick County, Maryland, especially the areas of South Mountain, Braddock Heights, and the Middleton Valley. Later reports would expand on sightings encompassing the area to include Central Maryland, Berkeley County, West Virginia, and your capital, Washington, D.C.
Goddamn DC.
Yeah. Now, a little bit of history for you on the Snallygaster.
Oh, I'm so proud of you for history sections.
Yay! We're going to take a little trip back to the 1730s,
Ooh.
before America was America.
So right when Blue was born.
The German immigrants in the 1730s described being terrorized by a monster they called the Schnelligeist, meaning quick ghost. The earliest incarnations of the creature mixed the half-bird features of a siren with the nightmarish features of demons and ghouls. The Snallygaster was described as half reptile, half bird, have a metallic beak lined with razor-sharp teeth, occasionally alongside octopus-like tentacles. The Snallygaster was rumored to swoop silently from the sky to pick up and carry off its victims. The earliest stories claim that this monster sucked the blood of its victims. There was a way to stop them, though. A seven-pointed star. If you were to put that on your front door or your barn door or somewhere it could be seen from outside, it would supposedly save you. Now, we go forward in time to the 19th century, where the story continued and was used primarily to frighten freed slaves. Yes.
Okay. All right.
And newspaper accounts throughout February and March of 1909 describe encounters between local residents and the beast with enormous wings, a long pointed bill, claws like steel hooks, and an eye in the center of its forehead. It was described as having screeches of a locomotive whistle.
All right.
Now, a great deal of publicity surrounded this, so much so that US President Theodore Roosevelt considered postponing a trip to Africa for a safari to go and hunt the beast.
Of course he did. Of course he did.
Great, one of the greatest hunters of mankind.
Yes. Now, we do have one known enemy of the Snelligaster, and that's called the Duiyu, which is reported to be a mammalian biped with features similar to a wolf, but the stance and stature of a human. The sightings are primarily reported in West Middleton, Maryland. The sightings have also been reported in the Wilkesville, Maryland region.
So
They have reportedly had several vicious encounters with each other.
wait a minute. So his biggest rival and the only thing he's afraid of is a wolfman.
No, the Duiyu.
Do are you?
Yeah,
Way up.
essentially a wolf.
Yeah, that thing.
Yeah.
Now, our good friend the Snelligaster does make appearances in some popular culture.
Okay.
It appears in the 2017 edition of J.K. Rowling's Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them. It also appears in the 2018 Bethesda game Fallout 76. It bears little resemblance in the game and is described as a creature that is a failed genetic experiment. Along with this, the Snelligaster is also a blended whiskey produced in a distillery of the Dragon Distillery of Frederick, MD, and was released in 2018. And South Mountain Creamery, a dairy located in Frederick County, Maryland, produces an ice cream flavor named the Snallygaster. It consists of peanut butter flavored ice cream with caramel swirls, peanut butter cups, and pretzels.
I'm in. I want that now.
I could take or leave the pretzels, but everything else in that sounds delicious.
And lastly, but no means leastly, in 2021, Sarah Cooper, a cryptozoologist in Maryland, opened the American Snelligaster Museum in Liberty Town, MD. And that is what I have for you.
I mean, it's
When was
gotta
the
be
last sighting of the Snallygaster?
No actual reports.
no actual.
It's a continuous thing, but not. There's been nothing specific.
Well, it is a
Yeah.
ghost with
Yeah. Fast
female
ghost.
features. The
Yeah.
fast ghost.
Okay.
So
Ghost, ghoul, big wings. Sometimes it's got tentacles, but razor sharp teeth and claws that look like steel.
So tiny little bit of research that I did. 1909, newspapers in Maryland and Pennsylvania began publishing reports of snallygaster sightings.
this sounds like something a Marine would come up with.
When he runs out of crayons, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. How you doing, Seth? Okay. I mean, that's
Hey, even
fine,
the
you know.
Smithsonian got in on
We
this.
just
They were offering a reward for the hide.
Yeah, it's so funny you should say that, because it was right around this time that reward was offered for the hide, is when I can't remember his name, but a big game hunter that was wanting to go to India to find the Yeti. When he finished his hunt here for Bigfoot, he changed his entire outlook and stopped hunting for Bigfoot and the Yeti and all those monsters. And
Okay.
Smithsonian and some of the other groups stopped that hunt area. They were saying, just photographs. Let's find evidence. Let's not try to murder, muck duck, whatever we're going to call it. The special cryptid.
That's that's the general consensus of most people nowadays, is that let's conserve it, get photo evidence. But the thing is that when you only go with the photo evidence, right, science will still disbelieve it,
Of course.
because they want something tangible. They want something that they can have in their hand. And
right. I mean, we're to the point these days where science is, DNA. We have better ways to do things. So,
okay, Kate
if
was having
someone's-
problems. Hang
yeah.
on, sorry. Kate was having problems with her camera. She's just going to be listening in for today.
Yep.
Sorry about that, Kate. I know your cameras are being a pain in the butt.
No worries.
No worries. You can
but
police
yeah,
the
like,
comments.
the whole idea of, if we have modern ways to look at things, and we can still be open, but we can still be skeptical.
Yeah.
I think if someone were to see the snallygaster today,
well, you also
we might
gotta
put them
remember-
on lithium and send them to a home.
Yeah, but you also got to remember too, in this age where everybody has a 1080p camera in their pocket.
Yeah. Yeah.
Photo evidence means Dick Diddley.
You're diddly.
Anyway,
But still, no. I think the snallygaster is very interesting, especially since it's that neck of the woods between Blue and I.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
literally like right in between us.
Yeah.
And it's
the no man's land of the East Coast.
yeah.
Freaking East Coast, man.
Hey, man, we got to have something.
We have the snallygaster and the wood booger. The welcome to Virginia.
You also have the Jersey Devil on the
and
East
we got
Coast.
the Jersey Devil. He goes from Jersey to PA all the time.
Yeah. Thank you, Torsten, for sharing. That was very informative.
Very informative on the snallygaster. Now the next person up is Jasper. Jasper, go ahead.
Before I get started, I do want to say that it was this close to sounding like the one-eyed, one-horned, flying purple people eater.
Good reference. I like it.
True.
Thank you.
Extra points.
Extra points for Jasper.
2 points for Gryffindor.
But I'm a Hufflepuff.
She's a Hufflepuff.
No, I keep forgetting. I think I would be a Slytherin.
Oh, you're
I
definitely
want to be a Slytherin. I'm just actually a Hufflepuff.
Okay.
let's slither into our next cryptid.
Today,
Jasper, what do you have for us?
I have the butterfly people of Joplin.
Okay, now this one was not known to me.
Hmm.
So I'm very intrigued to find out about the butterfly people of
I got a little bit of information, but I want to hear what Jasper found.
Okay. So let's get Jasper going here. Go ahead, Jasper.
All right. On May 22nd, 2011, a devastating tornado hit the town of Joplin, Missouri. Missouri.
Misery. Let's just call it what it is. Misery.
Leveling buildings and killing around 158 people. To those that survived, the children of the families would share stories about humanoid creatures that were nicknamed the butterfly people. While many children shared their story, one recurrent element is that they were on the brink of death. The butterfly people manifested before them, protecting them from the falling debris of the tornado. Some of them have also accredited seeing the butterfly people carry off those close to death to the afterlife. Sorry, my eyes watering.
Take your time, relax.
Many theories, not theorists, have circulated as a result of the phenomenon. Most skeptics believe that the stories are a result of a mass hysteria, where stress from the near-death experience would cause people to believe that they are seeing something supernatural before their eyes. This can also explain many other instances of people sharing their stories of supernatural encounters, such as seeing angels during tragedies, such as the Twin Towers in 2001. It should also go without saying that the town exists within the religious belt. As such, the idea of there being a miraculous explanation behind many of the near-death experiences could be explained away as a result of the predetermined belief. Believers of the unnatural phenomenon believe that the butterfly people are, in truth, angels. But because children were still developing, many believe that they instead perceived them as butterfly people because they couldn't visualize what they would perceive an angel to be. Prior to the tornado, a mural artist visited the town to start a new project. After the storm, he arrived to a town meeting some of the volunteers. Thousands of volunteers offered to lend a hand, a majority of them being children who drew several pictures depicting the butterfly people. Despite some skepticism, the artist saw that the butterfly people represented a rebirth of sorts to the town. There is a documentary about 1 hour long on the butterfly people. I did not go and watch it, unfortunately. I would like to, though. And there is a theory that the butterfly people are cousins to Mothman, who is a harbinger of doom.
Okay.
And that's all I have for you today.
Ah, all righty. All right. Well, I'm actually like, it's weird to know that they had a movie.
Because so I have a little bit. So because of where it was, the mythos around it, the high strangeness of large amounts of people seeing the same thing, specifically children seeing the same thing. And we all know that like that veil that is lifted when we're children, where we can see things that maybe others can't. That idea, it stuck with a lot of people and a lot of filmmakers. And just that, the one interview that struck me the most was the little girl. I cannot remember her name, but when she was telling her parents after this thing, the butterfly people held a piece of wood over her head so she wouldn't get hurt.
Okay.
So it's cryptid, it's folklore, it's psychological, it's spiritual. I think it falls into so many different categories that
It does.
it's too interesting to not at least discuss.
Yeah. I mean, it's definitely one of those ones that like it falls into the conversation.
Yeah.
And it does fall into the classification of a cryptid.
Yeah.
I mean,
I
we can
100% agree.
we
It's interesting. Like it's in that, like if you
Yeah.
take this whole like a copper kettle and throw a bunch of stuff in there, like cryptid culture and the lore, and the Joplin, Missouri is not a well heeled is the word I'm looking for. It's not a community that's got a lot of money. It's a bunch of poor people, and the fact that this happened and it never happened again. No one has seen those things.
Yeah. I mean, definitely classifies as a cryptid. Definitely classifies as being a member of some, just something, just
Yeah.
basic lore around everything. So I'm gonna give it a thumbs up. As for being a cousin of the what do you call it? Of the Mothman. We'll have to see what Michelle found for us, because Michelle found for us a lot of information.
I went a little overboard.
It wouldn't be Michelle if she didn't find a lot of information. So, ladies and gentlemen, let's sit back, relax, and look into this wonderful information that Michelle has gathered on this. Jasper, I'm giving you 2 thumbs up for the little moth people.
I like it. It's gonna feed right into mine.
And it feeds right into Michelle's. 2 thumbs up, 2 points for Hufflepuff. And for bringing knowledge about something that I had no idea existed.
Mm-hmm. It's a good one.
It was very good, very well crafted. All right, Michelle.
Hi.
Let's get into your cryptid creature.
If you haven't guessed by now, I'm going to talk about Mothman.
Yeah, the guy who happens to be right in the middle of our screen right now.
Yeah.
The Mothman.
I'll tell you what, I had to stop myself several times because I could have gone down this really, really convoluted path of information because there is just so much out there. So much. All right. So here's what I'm going to need you to do. I'm going to need you to put yourself in a space.
The only thing I need to do is just stay me and die.
Hey, I will come up there and I will whoop your silly ass, sir. With respect.
Excuse me.
With respect. You will shush and you will listen. Kate's not here. I could be a dick.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. All right.
I respect my elders. All right, go ahead.
All right. I'm going to need you to visualize where I'm going with this.
Okay, Linda's the only one who can call me Sean. That's my aunt.
Okay. Are you ready? Here we go. You feel the cold wind whip through the broken windows of the old TNT plant. The air is thick with silence, broken only by a distant hoot of an owl. Or was it something else? Your flashlight flickers, and then you see it. 2 glowing red eyes staring back at you from the darkness. They don't blink. They don't move. And somehow, they're above you, higher than any man should be. You take a step back, heart pounding, and then it happens. A whoosh of massive wings cutting through the air. The creature flies into the blackness. You're not alone. You're never alone in Point Pleasant, West Virginia. Dun, dun, dun. Okay. Today, you're not just a listener. You're a witness. Welcome to the Legend of Mothman. I'm a little theatrical today, just FYI.
Yeah.
Just a teensy bit.
Michelle's a little bit in her theatrical
Yeah.
phase today,
Yeah.
folks. So this is going to be an interesting one.
Okay. So overview. Mothman, obviously legendary creature from American folklore, particularly associated with Point Pleasant, West Virginia. However, there are some offshoots. So, what does the Mothman look like, other than the cute little Mothman that is in our center right now? Well, he's got large wings, 10 to 15-foot wingspan, glowing red
That would
eyes.
make him fucking massive.
Shush, she's a bet. Usually, whatever the wingspan is, half of that is the height.
15-foot wingspan.
If he were 10 to 15-foot wingspan, that would make him between 5 and 7 feet.
7.5 foot.
Yeah. So
Thank you,
usually it's the
Torsten, for doing the
wingspan
math.
divided by 2. Okay.
I'm sorry. To me, that just says big.
Humanoid figure standing between 5 and 7 feet tall. He can fly without flapping his wings. Can like levitate up, is what they are saying.
Oh, yeah,
And-
freaking Harrier jump jet.
Yeah. Ominous presence. Many believe he is a harbinger of doom. I do love harbingers of doom. Harbingers of doom make me happy. The best thing about the Mothman, which is a little bit different than some of the other cryptids that we talk about, is there's not a lot of differences between what people see when they report a sighting of Mothman. He's very, like, it's consistent. Use your words.
No.
What?
Now, all right. You picture
Hey,
this, something 7 feet tall,
Yes.
15-foot wingspan, and the thing
Yeah.
can just hover.
Yeah. I'm gonna
Yeah.
get to that. I
have trouble believing in something that just hovers,
I'm gonna hover.
but yet has a 15-foot wingspan.
Okay. All right.
Harrier jump jet.
Okay, that's the only thing that I know besides a freaking albatross that can like hover.
You're an albatross. Anyway, so the first sighting. Would you just let me talk, sir?
Go ahead.
The first sighting, there's a little bit of what's the word that I'm looking for? There's a little bit of back and forth over the first sighting. Some say that the first sighting was by the grave diggers that were down the street just a couple of days before the first sighting. But I'm going to go with the most attributed first sighting. 2 couples, Roger and Linda Scarberry and Steve and Mary Millette, were driving around Point Pleasant in Roger's car, out looking
This woman couldn't
for
drive back then.
some fun, like you do with your people. They were going through the old area in Point Pleasant known as the TNT area. Call back to history. It was an abandoned World War II munitions plant that was about 6 miles outside of Point Pleasant.
Well, that makes
Munitions
sense.
were no longer needed, so it kind of like fell into disrepair. So there's a lot of silos, a lot of just
Random areas that are just
random-
unused, untouched by man after we left.
your standard military comes in, makes a munitions plant, and then goes, we don't need this anymore, and then just leaves it. Yeah. Anyway, so the couple described seeing a large gray figure with glowing red eyes, massive wings,
Yes,
6 feet tall, all of the normal things. They claim the creature flew after their car at speeds of somewhere approaching 100 miles per hour. This thing was keeping up with the car.
Okay, first off, no car back then was going 100 miles an hour.
57. He was driving a 57 Chevy. 1966.
Even a 57 Chevy wasn't going 100 miles. You had to have such an open space to go 100 miles an hour.
Going 100 miles an hour, upwards towards 100 miles an hour. Linda Scarberry later said it wasn't like anything that she'd ever seen in a monster movie. It just didn't seem real. And now it's where Blue says
it was a secret government project.
All right. So they were terrified. They were terrified enough to drive straight to the Mason County Sheriff's Office and file a report with a deputy. The next day, the story was published in the local newspaper, the Point Pleasant Register, with the headline, "Couples see man-sized bird." Something. Anyway, so first sighting kicked off a wave of strange occurrences, leading to Mothman being an American cryptid in the lore. All right, so now we're going to get into the Harbinger of Doom.
So Mothman was misidentified as Birdman.
Yeah, he was Birdman.
Birdman.
All right, so
Hanna-Barbera.
That right there led up to, and I don't want to get into the whole Indrid Cole piece of it because it's just a whole section that I would be sitting here for 4.5 hours if I just talked through this. Anyway, so that was, if you look at November 66, about a year later, after multiple sightings of this Mothman creature, never hurt anybody, but always was just standing ominously around places and was seen. Roughly a year later, the Silver Bridge collapsed, 1967. 46 people died. The bridge just collapsed.
Yes, Kate, we know they had it.
A lot of people believe that the Mothman at that point was the omen, like letting them know something was going to happen. Which leads me to, there are 4 additional sightings of Mothman within some disastrous things. So Pripyat, Ukraine, 1986. Anybody know what happened? April 27th, 1986 in Pripyat, Ukraine.
That would be the Chernobyl disaster.
No,
Exactly. So there are alleged is what I am very, very particular in saying, reports in the days and weeks before the explosion that several workers at the plant saw a large, dark creature with glowing red eyes, dubbed the Blackbird of Chernobyl, hovering over the facility within the days and weeks before the explosion. Okay, there's one.
That caused the meltdown. Yeah.
2. Anybody familiar with September 11th, 2001, New York City?
I think we all
Yep.
are.
Okay. All right. So there are a handful of folks who claim to have seen, and there are some who claim to have video evidence, which I looked at the video evidence and it looks fake as fuck to me, of a winged humanoid creature flying around the Twin Towers the days before September 11th.
I mean, I could see that being, totally fake. But
It had that like, okay, no.
I've seen the photo.
Yeah.
And if I had a copy of it, I would throw it up here on screen. But
yeah,
it's one of those photos that you just sit there and you go, "This is so fake."
So fake. Right. And then August 1st, 2007, I-35 bridge over the Mississippi River in Minneapolis collapsed and killed 13. There were sightings days and weeks before on top of this bridge, a moth-like Birdman-like creature with red eyes that was seen. The thing that I find the most interesting is if these things were seen days and weeks before these big events, why are they only reported post-event?
People can't believe what they saw.
I mean,
I feel like people were, maybe trying to add into the folklore or say, oh, well, there was a harbinger of doom, so we just didn't pay attention. And
well, I mean, you could say that, but also you got to remember that there's a lot of sightings of weird shit out there that people just don't report because they don't want to be that person. They don't want to feel like they're crazy. And they don't want the stigma. They don't want people thinking that, I'm nuts.
True.
And
I feel that way all the time.
I mean, I've been honest. I've been open about the fact that I've experienced things in my life that I can't fucking explain. I can't explain, being pulled out of the woods when I got lost in them.
True. All right. Well, I have 4 theories.
Okay.
Not going to dig too much into them because I have one that I prefer. First theory is Mothman's a cryptid, just like Bigfoot, the Jersey Devil, undiscovered creature, something. Okay. Next theory is alien or interdimensional being. Okay. So this one ties back, if you know anything about the Mothman, there is this whole other person called Indrid Cold that claims to be an alien, and it's a long story, but interdimensional UFO sightings also increase when Mothman is seen.
But also interdimensional beings and UFO or whatever the hell they're calling them nowadays. UAPs are seen when Sasquatch sightings are done.
Right, which is another, you feed into the other theory that a lot of people are starting to think that possibly Sasquatch is an interdimensional being that has these like wormholes where they can hide. That's why
the disappearing, reappearing Sasquatch theory. Yeah.
So the third theory is mass hysteria. Some sort of misidentification. I've seen, I don't know how many, we're talking about the Sandhill cranes.
Well, also, Linda brings up the good point of the Men in Black always showing up too after these certain events and sightings.
We'll get to the Men in Black here in a second. This is where the Men in Black concept started.
Okay.
So the guy who wrote the book, The Mothman Prophecies, John Keel is the one who in 1975 is the one who coined the phrase Men in Black.
Okay.
Because these government agents, so to say, showed up at several of these locations where people were claiming to have seen the Mothman. And, these are not for Star Wars references, these are not the droids you're looking for, basically, is what they were trying to convince. Like, you don't want to talk about this.
You didn't see it.
Yeah.
You don't know anything about it. You're not going to tell anybody about it. Not even your wife, not your kids, not nobody.
Hide your kids, hide your wife.
This didn't happen.
Yeah. Which I think that's an interesting concept. But then there's the fourth theory. And this is the theory that I like the most because I am a crazy person. Mutated animals. Because the TNT plant, some sort of chemicals that were being used in the TNT plant in the 50s, 40s, 40s to make the munitions. Maybe one of those Sandhill cranes got a little mutatey and turned into Mothman.
Well, isn't Mothman? It's Birdman.
Whatever. Anyway, so that's
I mean, the Mothman similarities to the Owl Man,
yeah,
very similar creatures.
yeah,
Big ass wingspan,
yeah.
able to hover, had the big red eyes. I mean, anybody who's ever seen an owl at night with a camera and a
Exactly.
flash, their eyes bright,
Yeah.
real big, because they have those big photoreceptors in their eyes.
Yeah. So before we
So-
go down that crazy route, let's just do a quick overview of the Mothman in pop culture.
Okay.
So the Mothman Prophecies, John Keel wrote this book in 1975. He came to Point Pleasant to do some research, and we all know that Richard Gere starred in the Mothman Prophecies movie that was based on the book. It was not exactly close. Mothman Prophecies movie, 2002. Basically, took that book that John Keel made and make it more of a psychological horror prophecy kind of thing.
Yeah.
Sci-Fi put out a 2010 movie called Mothman. Low budget. And
Linda, you
there's
could be right.
also
Sorry, I'm responding to the
Yeah.
chat.
yeah.
Linda says, could the men in black be aliens instead of government agents? I mean, it's possible.
There's no telling these days. Mothman Curse and the
I don't
Mothman
know. Let's ask Will
Legacy.
Smith.
Exactly. The X-Files did a Folie à Deux and Detour that had like similar kind of things of the Mothman. Mountain Monsters Travel Channel, where they sent cryptid hunters to West Virginia. BuzzFeed Unsolved did an episode. Lore on Amazon Prime had an episode. So this is kind of interesting. I found a subgenre of musicians who have songs about Mothman. 2022, the heavy rock tribute band Clutch has a Mothman song. Muskrat also has a Muskrat song. There's Mothman and the Thunderbirds is a metal band named after Mothman. Fallout 76, Torsten, another Fallout reference, Mothman.
Yes, Mothman is in Fallout.
Yep.
There used to be a lot of cryptids in Fallout 76.
Yep. An interesting point is Point Pleasant, West Virginia has embraced the whole theory. The whole thing of Mothman is part of their culture now. They have a statue front and center in their town square of Mothman. They have a festival.
I have seen said statue.
They're very much it's a celebration, really. It's like, you know, back in the old Roman days where they had the large deities paraded out on their feast days. It's very interesting. And then what I'd like to end with is the Michelle piece. I think Jeepers Creepers, the creeper, that's Mothman.
Okay, but Mothman has never actually attacked anybody.
Doesn't matter. In Michelle brain, Jeepers Creepers.
The creeper is actually something
The
very
creeper
different.
is Mothman.
After we had this discussion on Wednesday, I went
Mm-hmm.
and looked at the Jeepers Creepers lore, and the creeper goes way, way back.
Oh, I know that, but
Further back than anything
in
else.
my brain, I hear Mothman. My brain goes to Jeepers Creepers.
I mean, you know.
Anyway, so
That's the Michelle theory, and
I truly feel that there's a lot of cryptid energy with Mothman.
okay.
Thoughts, questions, comments, concerns?
He is. He's classified as a cryptid. I mean, he very rarely ever seen, but when he is seen, shit goes down.
Yep.
I have a theory about Michelle's theory.
Oh,
Okay.
I love it.
What if Jeepers Creepers is like, and Mothman are like a Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde kind of situation?
She's got a point.
Hmm?
Don't Purger.
No,
Right.
the harbinger then becomes the
Angel of Death.
yeah.
I'm down with this.
I'm not down with this theory.
I don't care what.
Hey,
2-1.
Bruce Banner the Hulk.
You can't. It's two separate personalities in one body.
Is it really one body though? Because like the body changes like so much.
Because is it okay? You know what? We're not getting into this today. We're not getting into this today.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So that'll do it for the Mothman. Okay, now out of these three cryptid creatures, which one are we kicking out the nest today?
Mothman stays.
Mothman, I think stays.
Yeah,
He's-
Mothman
mean,
stays.
He's
Agreed.
staple. Plus, he's in the center of our screen right now. So
So okay.
then I got to change the whole look of.
If I were to talk it out, I would. Here's Michelle theory.
Okay.
Mothman stays. He's our classic cryptid. I think the Snallygaster is he's cool. He's just a cool dude. Like, of all the things, like, as much as I enjoyed the Butterfly People story, if I had to say, here are the three, like, with the F, Marry, Kill, like, F the Mothman, marry the Snallygaster, kill the Butterfly People.
But the
I
butterfly
mean-
people are Mothman's hot cousin.
I mean, the Snellygaster. See, for me, I like the Snellygaster because I think and the reason why I like him is because he's featured in one of my favorite audio stories that I've listened to. It's called "I Drive for Cerber," which is like Uber but for the paranormal. And he's one of the passengers in the main character's car that he has to drive one night.
The Snallygaster is awesome.
And the Snellygaster is just like so cool. Like he's not like a cool character, but he's just kind of a dorky character. I like him. I like the Snellygaster. I'm saying that Jasper's cryptids could be lumped in with Michelle's. They could be the offspring of Mothman. And or cousins to the Mothman.
But if you had to do the F, Marry, Kill, who's gone?
Honestly, Torsten, yours is already a ghost, so it's kill. And if I'm gonna F anything, I'm gonna F the Mothman because how many people could say they the Mothman?
That's one way to get DNA evidence.
Right.
Yeah, but I'd be leaving my DNA. Anyway.
I mean,
Are you sure? I don't think Mothman's a bottom.
I think I'm agreeing with her. I think he's a top.
I don't even want to think about it. Anyway.
If it's the taller version of the Mothman, 7.5 foot tall, yeah.
I don't feel like being pegged by Mothman.
Oh, I've got a great idea for Googling later.
Nah, don't. Anyway.
Oh.
Kate says butterfly people. I'm gonna. This is a tough one for me. I'm sorry, but I'm gonna go with Kate on this one. I'm gonna say butterfly people out the nest. Even though there's a possible connection with Mothman, I just don't think it's tangible enough.
I guess that means my wings are clipped.
We're clipping the wings. They're out the nest.
Torsten hasn't voted. F, Marry, Kill, Torsten.
Linda says butterfly people as well.
F Mothman, you got to.
You gotta F.
Just like from the popular culture side of it as well. Epic, like the be all end all of the big guys.
You don't hear anything about the butterfly people. The only thing you hear about butterfly people is when it's Pride Week in New York.
Oh, I know some of those.
So do I.
I mean, I think
Yeah.
like I feel bad about it because
So do I. Like I
it.
feel bad about like this. This hurts. This one actually hurts.
Yeah.
Well,
I'm sorry, but I think it has to be the butterfly people. Gotta go.
You'll feel better when the Mothman pegs you later.
I don't want to be pegged by Mothman. Thank you.
I'm just saying.
You may not have a choice.
I don't. Yeah.
Listen. Ain't
7
nothing.
foot tall dude.
Ain't nothing going. Ain't nothing going in there that's any bigger than a pinky and less forgiving than one.
This is
Anyway,
going.
let's okay. So butterfly people are next. That is the final countdown for everything, I think the butterfly people are out. Okay, so
Butterfly
next
people have
week
blown the coop.
we're going 2 versus 2. We're taking two particular water-based cryptids and pitting them against each other. It will be myself and Michelle versus Jasper and Torsten. Michelle and myself are going to take the sirens of mythology and also cryptozoology. And they will be going up against something very similar but very different. The mer people, the mermaids, mermen, whatever, of Jasper and Torsten. Now, tune in next week as we have this very, very deep philosophical and
Possibly inappropriate. Let's call it
very inappropriate. It's gonna get fishy. It's gonna get fishy, folks.
It's gonna get fishy. Hey, that's not yours, sir. That is
We
not
just gotta
yours.
really take the dive into this one.
Duh! Who has to walk the plank?
Who's gonna be battered and fried next week? The siren or the mermaid?
Somebody definitely sleeping with the fishes.
Exactly. Gonna put their cement shoes on. It's a mob reference for you, Mr. Blue.
Yeah, well, hey, listen, there's a lot to be said for concrete shoes.
Oh, wait, hold on. Isn't there a new serial killer in your neck of the woods?
Shush, don't bring it up right now. My wife is going ape shit about freaking. There's a serial killer up in this area. Oh my god! Listen, the guy walks in here, he's not gonna have a fucking standing chance. So I'll tell you that. I got way too many weapons in this house.
I have 8 cats.
I have a sword.
I got a fat cat that I can throw at him, and also the demon cave kitty. But all right, so join us next week as we decide which water cryptid is going to the table.
And stay for the battle. There might be a rap battle. I don't know.
I am not rapping, thank you. My rapping days are over.
It's like do an 8 Mile kind of thing.
No, I'm old.
Yeah.
I'm done with that.
Whatever.
Anyway, thank you so much for joining us on this very interesting episode. As you notice, I did not choose a creature of the air. I chose to abstain because I couldn't really think of anything.
Because I ate up all the time.
Yes, you did. Anyway.
And I stole the one he wanted.
Yeah, and you stole the one I wanted. Anyway, like I said, join us again next week as we head to the high seas for some sushi. We'll catch you next week. Thank you guys so much for joining us. And if you can't be good, be bad.
Being good at it.
Salud. Thank you and good day. Like, share.